engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect our staff, employees, and residents of Mount Healthy. And continue to remind us that all that we do here today and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the March 19th meeting. Appreciate all of you coming. We'll go ahead and get started with roll call, please.
Mrs. Lingo? Mr. Parsons?
Here.
Mr. Redding?
Here.
Mrs. Dosa?
Here.
Mr. George?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mrs. Rissel?
Okay, I have word that Denise will be here in just a few moments. She's running just a little late. So do you want to excuse her now or just let it go until she arrives?
I'd let it go until she gets here.
Let it go?
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fine.
If she doesn't get here.
Okay, you have before you the minutes from the March 5th meeting. Is there any corrections that anybody has spotted to correct? Anybody have anything? Okay, then I would ask for a motion to adopt as printed.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes as printed.
Mr. Young has made a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Parsons? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Here's Denise. Correspondence. I really have no correspondence. You have your financial statements for the month on your desk. Does anybody else have any correspondence? Okay. Guest and special events, none. Public input. Anybody here who would like to address council?
Good evening, Dwight Weesey, 1421 St. Clair Avenue. Member of the Tree Commission here, came to make you all aware that we did win the grant application that we made for the Ohio's Inflation Reduction Act Urban Forestry Grant for Emerging Programs. There were 67 applicants across the state. 36 were awarded for a total of about $5.5 million overall. Our application was for roughly just under $25,000. Some of the communities were asked to reduce it to get within that realm. Within our particular region, Region 6, there were 6 applicants, so we were one of those 6. There will be a second round. They are planning. That will be in mid-2025. For our particular award here, what we applied for and we'll be looking to execute on now and getting ready to start on that is establishing the fundamentals of the city program by contracting an arborist to work on gaining some of that information that needs it, that rounds out our particular tree surveys and critical aspects like that, that will just help us for the future applications, along with helping out then with working with the city on the contracting for assuring that we protect our tree lawns. You know, we've talked about some of the remediation efforts out on that, and as well as helping to grow it in the future. We also will be doing some tree hazard reduction surveys and also pruning for that. And then we'll also be doing the tree remediation and planting along Perry Street and a few of the other adjoining streets in this area. we got our hands full. We got a lot. Scott and I already sat down with and took part in a information session that the state had for us. We've gotten some of the paperwork in, waiting on the contract portion, or has that come in already? No, contract has not come in yet, portion for the state for actually getting all this, but getting started on the work. We'll be working with Wendy, who's the local urban tree. I don't know what her full title is, but it works with the ODNR for urban trees and a lot of the tree commissions around here. So we'll be working on that over the next year and a half here. So thank you to all of you for your help. The work that we did last year on putting in the tree ordinances, as well as the approval for us to go and apply for this grant. Turns out that we'd before last year, we were talking about doing this as a matching grant. We don't have to do a match. This is a full funding by the state for this effort. But thank you for your effort and your willingness to support us on it.
Congratulations and thank you very much.
It's very exciting.
Yep. We'll try to get out some sort of announcement once the state actually gets their announcements out too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let all the residents know that you've done this. Yeah, congratulations to the whole committee.
Thank you.
Yes.
Scott, is this something we could get on our homepage?
Oh,
Just
sure.
that we want to, yep,
Yeah,
and
that's a
the
good idea.
folks in the tree commission was responsible.
Yep.
Can do that.
Thank you.
Thank-
Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Anyone else who'd like to address council? Okay. Committees and commissions. Beautification Committee, Ms. Lingo.
No report.
Business Partnership and the Alliance, Mr. Young.
I received an email on March 8th from the Secretary of the Business Association. President Dwight Moody has suspended all meetings until further notice. So we don't have a Business Association meetings currently, so we're just hanging out.
Okay, Economic Development then, Mr. Young.
No report right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Young? Okay. Finance, Mr. Parsons.
No report tonight?
Library, Ms. Dosa.
Thank you. The library on April 8th will be having an eclipse viewing party. It'll be held here at Mount Healthy's Park from 1:30 to 4:30 by the stage, in front of the stage area. There'll be arts and crafts, and all who comes will learn a little bit about the solar eclipse and experience it with the people that are there together. Eclipse glasses for safe viewing will be available at the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Libraries only on the 8th while supplies last. So that's all the information I have about that. Lacey, is there anything else? Okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss that. But April 8th, an eclipse viewing party at Mount Healthy Park.
Now, will the parents be with the kids?
They can, yes.
So they do have the proper eyewear, so there's no,
Yes, we'll be
Buddy.
providing them,
okay,
yes.
so nobody's looking when they're not supposed to.
Right. And that's all I have for the library.
Okay. Parks Commission, and
Parks and Commissions. I'm going to pass this around. I did finally receive a little bit of what Playground Equipment Services felt that they had available for us and some ideas that they had for the park. I'll pass that way, and I'll pass this temporary structure options this way. And in this one that I'm passing around, and I'll forward this all to you later by email, it talks about some structure options that they have available for us to rent. And there's several different structures, and they're looking at some more because I asked for them to look for like slides and swings and things that are age appropriate for ages 2 to 5. And if you look at this, a lot of these structures, to rent them for a year would be $1,000. And it's a temporary situation because we're going to still try to get our grant for June, which that's the other thing, we're going to start preparing for that, getting that prepared to submit. And if we get additional funding through that and through the city, we can either outright buy these or return them and purchase other equipment with the monies that we get from grants and et cetera. But this is just what we talked about before, about the temporary structures, and these are just a few examples. I honestly think that the pricing is decent for renting things for a year for a park. I could be wrong, but I think that's a really good deal. The installation is a little high, and I talked to them about that as well, depending on if we go forward with renting the equipment, if we could get some form of pricing discount on installation, et cetera, and he's gonna get back to me on that. He's also gonna get back to me on other structures that they have available. And these structures, just to remind you, are structures that they were showroom pieces. So they have not been used in any other parks or anything like that. They've just been in storage. Anybody have any questions so far? I'm sorry.
$1,000 would include the installation? for
No,
the-
it does not.
Does not include
That's
installation?
just for the rental.
Okay,
Here's the
okay.
price breakdown
Okay.
for each.
Thank you.
This is the rental option.
It was something that we had discussed at our public forum, you know, about having opportunities to get equipment in the park temporarily. And this is some of the things that Playground Equipment Services came up with. And they're looking into other things that they have, because they only sent me an example of what, a couple different climbers. And I went back and I said, can you please send me some other play structures that would be for the ages of 2 to 5, and some slides and some swings and things like that, so we can have an overall view of what you have available. And we still have to set a time for, I would like for, like I talked about it before, I would like for like Justin and a couple other members to go with me to look at the equipment in person. They're still getting that date available, but this is just kind of where we are right now in terms of what they got together for us, and all of it can be changed, it can be tweaked, except for obviously the equipment they have available, but the plan that they have so far is just a draft, and this is kind of the first step. The second thing is, I would like to, in April, have another public forum, once we get everything together, so that we can bring the public up to date as to where we are and how we're going forward in terms of the plans we have in place for the park. And I think that's all I have.
Questions? Thank you, Mrs. Dosa. Move on then, safety, Mr. Redding.
No report tonight, sir.
Schools, Mr. George.
On March 27th, Mount Healthy City Schools is hosting the second session of the Community Forum, and it's called a Community Financial Meeting. You can find out more information about it on the Mount Healthy City Schools website. What to expect if you attend is information on the 5-year financial forecast for the school district. And then you can also, if you missed the first session, they've also have a link on the website so you can get brought up to speed what was discussed last time. And aside from that, preschool and kindergarten registrations are open for the community to register the young ones, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. George. Streets, Ms. Rissel.
I'm gonna wait until after Justin talks, and then I'll talk.
Okay. Then move on to the city manager's report. Mr. Bauer.
Let's see, got a few things here. Fire department, we did reach a tentative agreement with the full-time union. We'll discuss that in executive session. Same with the part-time union. Still finalizing everything, so it's not quite ready to be presented, but hopefully by the next meeting we'll have that all together. Let's see, for police, the house on Warner that had the SWAT raid a couple months ago, we're gonna meet with law director tomorrow. We may come with a recommendation to declare that house a nuisance. We'll have an update hopefully at the next meeting, to kind of see how things go. There's just a lot of the same cast of characters that are just causing trouble, just continue to hang out there, and violence and just not good things for the neighborhood. So within the next month, may have a OVI checkpoint. One of our officers is a member of the OVI task force. They'll set up somewhere, I think across from Paul Young, I believe is the planned setup area. Have more information in the next couple weeks. Road projects, I won't steal too much of Justin's thunder here, just some quick updates on construction. Forest Madison and the northern section of Harrison, that's north of Compton, should start within the next month. We've had all the pre-construction meetings, talked through everything, so those should be getting going pretty soon. And there's potential that the southern section of Harrison, south of Compton, may actually happen this year as well. But so if not this year, next year. The SORTA projects for this year, they'll be accepting. I believe the window just opened, so I'll bring some recommendations and maybe by the next meeting for which ones we should submit for that. If we have any streets that are left to qualify, they've got some much stricter requirements than the OPWC street projects. Let's see. I owe you some updated rates for the gas aggregation. I'll get that next time. Update on some of the grants. I did go ahead and give the green light for the streetscape, the human nature. I'm hopefully going to meet with them this week just to kick off. They create a steering committee and just kind of do some preliminary work before they actually really hit the ground with kind of developing their vision for Hamilton Avenue. Let's see, so we set for next meeting for the public hearing for the 3-year entitlement. That's the CDBG block grant. The goal is to have kind of what we've done in the past and have some recommendations. So that's like the facade improvement, the streetscapes. We have to have public input as required before we can select which ones we want. So that's all that I have. So actually, sorry, the AFG, the SAFER grant, that covers, that's for the fire engine, isn't it? The one that Steve just did? I believe it's for the fire engine. That was submitted, I think, last Friday. So hopefully, fingers crossed. That's one that can take, I think, 9 months before we even figure out if we get it. So, but that's been submitted, fingers crossed. That's all that I have.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Any questions, council? Okay, we'll move on. Public Works Department, Justin Westridge.
I have just a few things that we've been up to since September. So all the public restrooms, they've been, we closed and winterized everything. Just basically from November to April, they're closed, so nothing freezes. So we're going to be unwinterizing them here shortly. We're going to be getting the mowers out, same thing, getting those ready for spring. We decorated for Christmas and took down Christmas. So the guys have been busy in the police department doing some remodeling, remove some walls, put some walls up, remove some carpet, put up some paint. So hopefully this week we'll be completely done down there. I even got their new table today. Snow events, we really only had 4 of them this year. They weren't too awful bad. We only went through 64 tons of salt, which is pretty amazing, being how last year in the blizzard we went through 100 tons. So in one event, we did use 4,950 gallons of salt brine. Basically, the white lines that you guys saw us pre-treating roads. So I feel like that really helped out with our salt consumption. So leading into that, I also researched and wrote a grant for the EPA. It's called a calcium reduction grant. It seems like they want municipalities to kind of start getting away from using rock salt. So all the eligible equipment was basically brine related, whether making brine or applying brine to the roads. So just last week I got an email stating that they had 260 applicants in the state of Ohio apply just for $1.5 million worth of grant money to give away. So they got a lot bigger turnout than they thought. I'm still waiting to hear the results. Hopefully they're good. So we'll see what happens. First time writing a grant, so hopefully beginner's luck kicks in.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah. I got my commercial applicator's license, so this year in 2024, being how we're a municipality, if we spray any kind of weed killer, even if we get it from Home Depot, somebody has to have a license, so now that's me. All the guys under me are covered, so it made the most sense. We lost a guy to North College Hill. We gained a new guy. Andrew's a good kid. He just got out of the Army. He's got his Class A CDL, so he's working out pretty good. He's out there busy picking up litter. It's
There's a lot of that.
Lots of it out there. So he's busy wandering around town, getting to know the streets on his feet, picking up litter. So, potholes, we've been slowly battling the potholes. The same thing this year. The only asphalt plant open is up in Franklin, Ohio. So you're looking at 2 to 2.5 hours round trip to get blacktop. So it's been a little bit of a challenge with cold weather and all that stuff. So, but we've been out 3 times this year. We were going to go out today, but the closer asphalt plant that was supposed to be open isn't open yet. So we're going to go to Franklin tomorrow. So.
Is that a hot patch, Justin, or a cold
Yep,
patch?
it's the hot mix. Yep.
How do you keep that warm in that trip?
The hot box kind of keeps it warm. I mean, it comes out of the plant at like 350 degrees, and we try to keep it that hot on the way back, but it doesn't always stay that warm. So, obviously, the warmer it is outside, the better.
Yes.
The burners are a lot more efficient than the old machine, and so is the insulation, but it still really doesn't do fantastic. So we got a lot of catching up to do. So we'll be out there in the upcoming weeks quite a bit. And hopefully, at the end of the month, beginning of next month, the local plants will be open, and it takes us, 40 minutes to get asphalt instead of 2.5 hours. So. Onto the pool. I've ordered all the pool grates. We have those. The pumps and the motors have all been rebuilt. We're just pretty much waiting for May to put all that stuff together. Over in the park, we were having some vandalism issues in the public restroom over there. It usually happened after dark, so obviously we've changed the hours of the park to being closed at dark, but we've also now have a magnetic lock system that's on a timer, so that door is going to lock after dark, so to speak, and unlock at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like currently it's locked up by lock and key because it's not
Because of the time of year.
yeah, correct. It's winterized right now. So hopefully we'll see less vandalism inside the bathroom.
What about the bathrooms, Justin, if I may, down at the old concession stand and maintenance building?
Those,
Are they open or?
we put combination locks on those. Those are currently also winterized. The whole building is.
Are they still open to the public during the summer months?
Nope. The soccer bunch is usually in control of the keys for that. So they'll unlock, clean, maintain the restrooms for soccer events.
Okay.
So, but it seems like it's worked out pretty well. When we have concerts and events in the park, we've been opening up the pool bathrooms. So with the greater influx of, movie nights and concerts in the parks and things like that, it works out pretty well. I ordered some more wildflowers. I'm going to be planting those around town, some in the park, some in the places that didn't take last year. So I got sunny and shady mixes this year, so hopefully we'll see more butterflies and hummingbirds and all that kind of good stuff. Digging around in the shop, I found some old brackets that were on the decorative light posts for hanging flower pots. I would like to install those and get hanging flower pots this year. So it'd be about 20 of them. I was gonna get with Denise on the beautification committee, see if we can make that happen. And we have, what I'm guessing is the flower pot hangers were taken down for the banners that were in town. You guys remember the banners that had,
Veterans
welcome to
Veterans
our-
banners.
Yeah, yep. So we still have all the brackets for those banners. I was wanting to move those closer to the main intersections and put up welcome to Mount Health, some sort of banner, just to decorate the town. I know we do, during 4th of July, we put up the American flags and all that stuff. I just feel like if we had something up year-round or seasonal, change them out, something would just kind of decorate the town a little bit better. So,
That'd be nice.
once again, that's about it. Yeah, can we talk about the street sealing stuff? Okay.
Let me ask a question first. You have a means of watering the plants when they're in hanging baskets?
That we do. The same water truck that we were using last year, actually, we're gonna have to rinse that out a whole lot, but that was the brine applicator truck too, but it's got a hose on it and a watering spigot. So yeah, we'll be able to water everything.
Thank you.
So last year, in regards to sealing the streets, I got an estimate to basically have the roads crack filled. I mean, you see them when you drive around town, there's cracks everywhere. The black squiggly lines on some of the roads, that's the result of crack sealing. Basically what that does is fills the cracks so the water doesn't get underneath the roads and it extends the life of the roads. What I have here is an estimate for $66,495 to have all the streets in Mount Healthy that are able to be sealed. This will get us caught up and up to date, and then from there, I feel our department would be able to do the odds and ends in the future to keep up with this. But basically to get caught up, I think the last year this was done was 2017, so it's been a few years. So I feel that this is kind of necessary to prolong the life of the streets. I mean, we know that streets aren't cheap, you know. Anything nowadays, it starts off at $1 million and goes up. So if we could spend $66,500, it might prolong the lives of some of these roads, 3 to 5 years. So,
That's good.
and then that's about all I got. Now we'll let Peggy take over.
Anybody have any questions for Justin? You gonna cover a few things, Peggy?
So I've been meeting with Justin a few times about the streets, and so tonight I'd like to make a motion to seal the cracks on the city streets with an estimate of $66,495.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Rissel, seconded by Mr. George.
That may need to go out for bids if it's over $50,000.
Oh, did they? Okay.
If there are more companies that do it.
I could look. I know these guys are out of Columbus. So,
Yeah, we just don't want to, that would be my concern only because, we don't want to get a dinged on audit or something like that.
yeah, I agree. So, like I said, this estimate was from last year. When I spoke with him in the spring, it says normally they account for inflation. It would have been a 5% increase, but since they're going to be coming through our area, he's going to honor the old price. So,
Great.
I mean, if it's necessary, I can try to get 2 more estimates before this guy comes through town, because once he goes through town, it's going to be even more. So
Yeah.
now we're,
It is 75,000 for
Oh,
competitive.
75.
It was 50, they changed it to 75, and it will actually increase by 3% each year. So,
Okay.
Since you have a good estimate and we like to in the number, it sounds pretty good.
Okay.
Sounds fine.
Let you guys do
Okay,
your
well,
thing.
we do
and-
have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? That would take a voice vote. An aye. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Congratulations. Now we'll leave it up to Melanie to find the money, right? Okay, anything else, Peggy? Okay, any questions? Okay, then we're gonna move on. Ordinances and resolutions, we have none. Old business.
Just have one thing under old business. Have we heard any movement on our agreement with Third Century concerning the building at the old bowling alley, or just one more, however we want to call it?
I have not.
Okay.
I was unfortunately missed the last economic development meeting.
Yeah, I know you've been working hard on, yes.
So that's the last, I guess, real discussion that was had
Okay.
related to it.
Do we want to reach out to them and see?
Sure.
Okay.
Are we wanting to have another committee meeting to discuss it again, or just?
No, just see where they are, because I know the committee prior to this one, I think there was, or maybe it was back in January, there was discussion about a potential joint venture or something like that. I don't know if they've looked into that further, or,
Gotcha.
you know, and some of that resolved around community development funds and what we could do, what we couldn't do, stuff like that, so.
I can reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Question, the antique mall was vacated last fall,
Mm-hmm.
and the HVAC company, are they moving out, or have they moved out?
They're looking to build a new facility to house their inventory within Mount Healthy.
Good.
It's their intention to stay, so yeah. There's still work through the permitting, all that.
Do they have a timeline for getting out of the building?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
The grant has not been approved yet. I have not heard back. I'm
Grant.
probably due to reach out just to see
raise the
and get an update on the timeline. But last I recall, I mean, it was going to be summertime by the time we heard if we had,
From the port?
heard from, well, technically from the state. The port's already accepted it, but they kind of accept the projects, but then they still have to do the formal submission to the state. So that we're waiting on the state to give it the full green light.
Okay. Thank you.
Which I guess, let me circle back to roads just for a second, just that whole process reminds me of it. We have been preliminarily approved for the Warner project, for SKIP funding. We're in District 2, each district will vote on the projects, and then they submit it to the state. So our district has approved our project, and JMA tells me, basically that's 99.9% of the work. So we're just waiting for the state to, again, formally approve it. So Warner has been pre-approved, which basically means we're going to get it, so.
That's Werner and Denise's street.
Madison, yep,
Madison.
yep.
That's Werner from,
Off-road Jeep.
what part of Werner is that, may I ask?
Is it Compton South? How's
And
it
all the way
called?
south.
To the south.
Compton to the dead end at Kemper?
Yes.
And then the eastern leg of Madison that
Madison.
attaches to it.
Warner
yeah.
to Harrison.
Yeah. Okay,
So I just have another.
Yes.
So on that project, on the Warner project, that would be this year? That
Oh,
would
it
be
probably
next
wouldn't
year.
go out to bid until.
I always get,
Yeah,
what's that?
I know. It probably wouldn't even go out, maybe it would go out to bid by the
Okay.
end of this year, maybe,
So it would start in '25?
hopefully.
Okay.
Figure 27.
The Forest
Well-
Madison, they had issues with water and drainage and stormwater. I still don't fully understand why it took so long, but that was the rationale that it took so long.
Yeah, I
was
remember us
engineering the
discussing
water,
that,
but
yeah.
hopefully other projects don't take that long.
So-
Hopefully 25, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other old business, council? New business? Mrs. Lingo.
If you're available, I'd like to call a beautification committee before the next council meeting at 6:30. You'd be available, Ross? And I'll get with you, Justin, before then. That's it. Thank you. Here up in the, well, I guess, where would we have it? Your office?
You can do it in here, or if,
In
I
here.
mean, you're welcome to do it in
Okay.
my office. I mean, I can.
In here. That way we'll be ready to go.
Any other old business, council?
No business?
New business.
I will not be at the next meeting, be unavailable.
Okay. Anybody else have any new business? Okay, then we've been asked to go to executive session. I need somebody to read the motion to go into executive session. Motion is printed on the back page of your agenda.
Okay, I'll read it. Council will move into executive session in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121-22G4 to discuss collective bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Dosa has made a motion. Who was that?
I'll second.
You second it. Mr. Parsons has seconded. Roll call vote for executive session. It's all right.
Mrs. Lingo,
Aye.
Mr. Parsons,
Aye.
Mr. Redding,
Aye.
Mrs. Dosa,
Aye.
Mr. George,
Aye.
Mr. Young,
Aye.
Mrs. Rissel.
Okay, by a vote of 7-0, council has approved going into executive session. We will go in, have our executive session, and the only thing we'll do when we come back out is close the meeting. So, at this point in time,